Tonight, the collective is learning how to move like the quiet fox when power starts acting strange in the room. This scroll is not about becoming loud, reckless, or petty, because that is how people end up arguing with a tyrant, while the tyrant is secretly taking notes like a dusty little goblin with a clipboard. No, beloved. Tonight we learn the ancient art of staying calm, watching the pattern, protecting our energy, gathering receipts, and outsmarting uncomfortable power without letting fear drive the carriage. Because every person with a title is not a leader. Some are just shadows wearing a badge, a suit, a robe, a smile, or a fake, I'm only trying to help voice that sounds like manipulation with moisturizer. Tonight, the veil lifts on how to recognize discomfort as a warning, how to document what others try to hide, and how to move with witnesses, wisdom, and strategy. The collective is not learning fear tonight. The collective is learning quiet power. Wisdom to open the scroll before the fox escapes the trap, she first studies the hand that set it. Before the serpent sheds its skin, it knows which season has ended. Before the owl speaks, it listens to the forest lie to itself. So hear this, collective. When someone in power makes your spirit uneasy, do not rush to explain your discomfort away. The body is an ancient temple with old bells inside it. When those bells ring, listen. They are not being dramatic. They are not overthinking. They are not asking for attention like a court jester with Wi-Fi. They are warning you that something in the room is out of alignment. Tonight, we open this scroll with calm eyes and a guarded flame. Not every battle is won by shouting. Not every enemy is defeated by confrontation. Not every crown deserves your bow. Sometimes the greatest rebellion is documentation. Sometimes the sharpest sword is a witness. Sometimes the deepest magic is saying, please put that in writing, and watching the villain's eyebrows file for unemployment. Let the uncomfortable one talk. Let them reveal the pattern. Let them think your silence is weakness. The quiet fox knows better. She is not frozen. She is calculating. And when wisdom walks softly, even power starts checking the corners.
Channeled by your architect musician, 36110, 27 palms of eyes. Your golden whisperer, sea star, Devalan, see all. Apply the news you can use, truth and accuracy. The real non-bedazzled jewels.
The Scroll of the Quiet Fox. How to outsmart a person of power who makes you feel uncomfortable. Listen close, collective. Not every villain enters wearing a black cloak, laughing under lightning like a discount dungeon manager. Some come with titles. Some come with keys. Some come with smiles so polished you could see the lies doing jumping jacks in their teeth. A person of power can be a boss, landlord, elder, officer, leader, teacher, official, family ruler, church peacock, workplace dragon, or any human-shaped filing cabinet of intimidation who has learned that fear is cheaper than respect. And when they make you feel uncomfortable, your body usually knows before your mind has gathered the paperwork. That chill in your stomach, that tightness in your throat, that sudden desire to become a houseplant and photosynthesize away from the conversation, that is not weakness. That is the old alarm system. The ancestors installed it before apps existed, because apparently humans were already acting suspicious before Wi-Fi came to ruin the village. The first law of outsmarting power is this: do not fight them on the battlefield they built. A person of power often wants emotion. They want reaction. They want you angry, shaky, apologetic, confused, explaining yourself until your dignity is sitting in the corner holding a tiny blanket. Do not feed the machine. Become calm like locked water, not silent from fear, silent from strategy. The quiet fox does not announce, I am now being clever. That is how the foolish fox becomes a scarf. The quiet fox watches. When someone in power makes you uncomfortable, observe 3 things. What do they want from you? What do they gain if you panic? Who benefits from you staying silent? There, the mystery opens. Because uncomfortable power always leaves fingerprints. Not always on paper. Sometimes in tone, sometimes in timing, sometimes in who they corner when nobody is around, sometimes in how they smile when they think no one important is watching. That is where you begin. You do not rush, you document. Dates, times, places, exact words, witnesses, messages, screenshots, emails, voicemails, incidents, patterns. Not because you are petty, because memory is holy, but receipts are armored. A tyrant hates records the way vampires hate sunlight. They prefer confusion. They enjoy the fog. They want everything to become, maybe I misunderstood. No, beloved. Maybe they should stop acting like a haunted stapler with authority issues. The second law, never be alone with the shadow if you can bring a lamp. If this person makes you uncomfortable, avoid private spaces when possible. Keep doors open. Meet in public areas. Bring another person. Communicate in writing. If you must speak, follow up with a message, just confirming what was discussed today. Beautiful, elegant, terrifying. Nothing ruins a manipulator's afternoon like a summary email. They were trying to cast a fog spell, and here you come with bullet points. Tragic for them. Delicious for justice. The third law, ask questions instead of making accusations. This is old fox magic. A direct accusation may give them something to attack, but a question makes them reveal themselves. Say, can you explain what you meant by that? Is this a requirement or a preference? Can you put that in writing? Who else should be included in this conversation? What policy are you referring to? Is there a reason this needs to happen privately? Watch carefully. Power that is clean does not fear clarity. Power that is dirty starts sweating in Latin. The fourth law, do not give them your whole story. Some people of power fish for personal details so they can turn them into hooks. They ask too much. They lean too close. They blur lines. They act helpful while collecting your vulnerabilities like cursed Pokemon cards. Do not overshare with someone who has already made your spirit step backward. Give short answers. Stay polite. Stay boring. Boring is armor. There is great magic in becoming so professionally dull that manipulation slides off you like butter off a bald eagle. Majestic, confusing, and deeply American for no reason. Try phrases like, I'm not comfortable discussing that. I'll need to think about it. Please send that request in writing. I'm not available for a private meeting. I prefer to keep this conversation focused on the issue. That does not work for me. No long apology. No nervous explanation. No emotional buffet. A boundary does not need a TED Talk. The fifth law, find the hidden structure above them. Every person of power is usually connected to a bigger web. Human resources, a supervisor, a board, a tenant office, a compliance department, a union, a community elder, a licensing agency, a legal aid group, a safety hotline, a trusted advocate. Do not assume they are the final door. Some people only look mighty because everyone around them forgot there was a hallway. The mystery is this: the person intimidating you may not actually be powerful everywhere. They may only be powerful in the little room where they control the lights. Step outside the room. Get information. Learn the rules. Read policies. Ask neutral professionals. Speak to trusted witnesses. Build your path before you move. Do not storm the castle while still reading the map upside down like a noble but confused pigeon. The sixth law, protect your nervous system like sacred land. People who abuse power often want you exhausted. An exhausted person makes mistakes. An exhausted person reacts. An exhausted person forgets their own name and starts apologizing to furniture. Rest is strategy. Eat, sleep, breathe, walk, pray, laugh, call someone safe, put your feet on the floor, and remember, I am not trapped inside their version of reality, because that is the true trick of dark power. It tries to shrink the world until only their voice sounds real. But their voice is not the sky. It is just noise in a costume. The seventh law, move with witnesses, records, and timing. Do not threaten what you are not prepared to do. Do not reveal every card. Do not tell the spider exactly where you found the web. Gather, prepare, then act cleanly. If the situation is unsafe or threatening, prioritize safety first. Leave if you can. Contact someone trusted. Use local emergency help if danger is immediate. No scroll, no mystery, no cosmic drum solo is worth staying in a room where your body knows something is wrong. Now here is the dark comedy of it all. People who misuse power are often deeply insecure. They sit on a throne made of paperwork, fear, and cheap perfume of importance. They want to feel enormous because somewhere inside, a tiny goblin is screaming, "What if I am ordinary?" And the quiet fox knows, you do not need to defeat every goblin. Sometimes, you simply stop handing it a microphone. So when the powerful one leans in with that strange smile, when the air gets thick, when the room feels like a locked drawer, remember, you are not there to entertain their control. You are not there to shrink for their comfort. You are not there to prove your worth to someone abusing their position. You are there to stay aware, stay documented, stay protected, and stay free. Let them be loud. The fox moves quietly. Let them perform. The fox records the pattern. Let them think they are the storm. The fox already found the door. And when the time comes, you do not scream. You step forward with calm eyes, clean evidence, the right allies, and a voice steady enough to make the room remember justice still has teeth. When power makes you uncomfortable, do not ignore your spirit's alarm. Move wisely, write everything down. Keep witnesses close. Ask for clarity. Do not overshare. Do not meet darkness alone. And never mistake someone's title for truth. A crown can sit on a fool's head. Still a fool, just shinier. Receipts and esoteric knowledge. 4. The Scroll of the Quiet Fox. Now let the receipts enter the temple, collective, because wisdom without evidence is just a rumor wearing incense. The first receipt. When someone in power makes you uncomfortable, your discomfort deserves attention. Rain teaches that safety planning means preparing to get safe, stay safe, and feel safe, including thinking through future risks, options, and next steps. That is not paranoia. That is preparation with shoes on. The second receipt, power imbalance is a real pattern, not just bad vibes with a necktie. The CDC defines bullying as unwanted aggressive behavior involving an observed or perceived power imbalance, repeated or likely to repeat, and capable of causing physical, psychological, social, or educational harm. The CDC is discussing youth bullying specifically, but the pattern still helps name the ancient beast: imbalance plus repetition plus harm. The third receipt. In workplace situations, the EEOC says employees are encouraged to tell the harasser the conduct is unwelcome and report harassment early to help prevent escalation. The EEOC also says harassment investigations look at the whole record, including the nature of the conduct and the context. Translation from bureaucratish. Patterns matter, context matters, and documentation is not being dramatic. It is building the lantern. The fourth receipt. The EEOC says employers should have clear anti-harassment policies, safe reporting procedures with more than one reporting option, training, and consistent follow-through. It also says federal EEO laws prohibit retaliation against an employee who reports potential harassment. So when the little throne goblin says, "You'll regret speaking up," the law has already side-eyed that behavior from across the room. The fifth receipt. The U.S. Department of Justice describes domestic violence as a pattern of abusive behavior used to gain or maintain power and control, including intimidation, manipulation, humiliation, isolation, coercion, threats, blame, psychological abuse, and technological abuse. Even outside intimate relationships, these words help decode the machinery of control. Isolate, confuse, intimidate, deny, repeat. Same old demon, different badge. The sixth receipt. The National Domestic Violence Hotline warns that internet use can be monitored and cannot be erased completely, and it urges people in immediate danger to contact emergency help. That is why the Quiet Fox does not only document. The Quiet Fox protects devices, clears paths, tells trusted people, and does not leave safety sitting in the corner like an unpaid intern. The seventh receipt. OSHA's mission is to assure safe and healthy working conditions by setting and enforcing standards, and USAGov lists OSHA contact options, including reporting a workplace hazard. So if this discomfort is happening in a workplace and includes safety threats, intimidation, or unsafe conditions, there may be systems above the person trying to act like they personally invented gravity. In the old mystery schools, the fox was not worshipped because it was bigger than the wolf. The fox was honored because it understood the forest. That is the hidden teaching here. Do not try to overpower corrupted power with raw emotion. Raw emotion is sacred, yes, but in front of a manipulator, it can become spilled oil near a candle. Feel it, honor it, then move it into strategy. The serpent teaches, shed what exposes you. The owl teaches, see in the dark before speaking into it. The spider teaches, every web has an anchor point. The fox teaches, never enter the trap just because the trap called you rude. So the esoteric key is this. A person of power loses advantage when you move from reaction to record, from fear to witness, from confusion to pattern, and from isolation to alliance. That is the real magic, not glitter. Not shouting. Not "I rebuke thee" while the HR printer jams like a cursed altar machine. The magic is calm evidence. The magic is a clean boundary. The magic is asking, can you put that in writing? The magic is refusing private fog. The magic is knowing a title is not the same thing as truth. Receipts to speak aloud at the end of the scroll. Sources for this scroll include the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission on harassment, employer responsibility, reporting, and retaliation protections. RAIN on safety planning for harassment and stalking. The National Domestic Violence Hotline on safety planning and digital safety. The U.S. Department of Justice Office on Violence Against Women on power, control, coercion, intimidation, and psychological abuse. The CDC on power imbalance and repeated harmful behavior, and USAGov's OSHA listing on workplace safety and reporting hazards. When power makes you uncomfortable, do not ignore the bell inside your body. A clean spirit can still carry a clipboard. A soft heart can still keep records. A loving soul can still say, no, and put that in writing. Because the fox does not survive by pretending the hunter is harmless. The fox survives by knowing the forest better than the hunter knows himself. Tonight, the collective learned that uncomfortable power is not always loud. Sometimes it smiles, sometimes it wears a title, sometimes it leans too close, speaks too sweet, and tries to make your discomfort look like confusion. Tiny throne goblin behavior, honestly. Humanity really did invent paperwork and still forgot boundaries. But the quiet fox does not panic. The quiet fox observes. The quiet fox documents. The quiet fox does not overshare. The quiet fox brings witnesses, keeps records, asks clean questions, and refuses to meet shadow in a room with no lamp. This scroll revealed that outsmarting power is not about becoming cruel. It is about becoming clear. Because when someone uses position, pressure, secrecy, or intimidation to make you feel small, the mystery is not whether you are weak. The mystery is, what are they trying to hide? And once you see the pattern, the spell starts cracking. Power without integrity is just fear wearing jewelry. A title can open doors, but it cannot make a crooked spirit righteous. A crown can sit on a fool's head and still not turn the fool into a king. It only makes the foolishness easier to spot from a distance, which is considerate of it in a tragic little way. So remember this, collective, when your spirit feels uncomfortable, pause. When the room feels wrong, listen. When the powerful one wants secrecy, bring light. When they want panic, bring calm. When they want confusion, bring receipts. When they want you alone, bring witnesses. When they want your whole story, give them only what wisdom permits. The owl does not argue with the night. It learns how to see through it. The serpent does not explain the old skin. It sheds it. The fox does not beg the trap to become kind. It studies the trap, finds the hinge, and leaves the hunter talking to himself like a villain with bad lighting. Tonight's wisdom is simple. Do not mistake discomfort for weakness. Sometimes discomfort is your ancient self whispering, "Beloved, something is off. Trust that bell. Protect your peace. Move with strategy. And never let someone's position convince you to abandon your own inner throne."
Universal Currency Receipt, Architect Musician 3611027, The Graceful Whisperer, Devalan Ahll.
Wisdom with Strength Collective, hear this clearly. Strength is not always the roar. Sometimes strength is the calm face that refuses to fold. Sometimes strength is the quiet note written after the threat. Sometimes strength is walking out of the room before your spirit has to beg your body to survive it. A powerful person may try to make you feel small, but remember this. A shadow only looks large when the light is behind it. Step into your own light and watch that giant become a strangely dressed little problem with authority issues. Do not let intimidation rewrite your truth. Do not let someone's title make you forget your own name. Do not let fear convince you that silence is safety when wisdom is telling you to prepare. Move steady. Move clean. Move with witnesses. Move with records. Move with your spirit upright. The lion does not explain its spine to the hyena. The mountain does not apologize for standing. The river does not ask permission to keep flowing. So let your strength be sacred, not reckless. Be kind but not available for control. Be loving but not open for manipulation. Be peaceful but never confused for powerless. Because true strength is not cruelty. True strength is knowing when to soften, when to speak, when to document, when to leave, and when to let the truth walk into the room wearing boots. Repeat this, collective. My spirit is not small. My peace is not for sale. My silence is not consent. My kindness is not weakness. My fear is not my master. And no crown built from intimidation has authority over my soul.
To our beautiful collective, from our day ones to every new soul joining this journey, we love and appreciate you deeply. You've turned this space into so much more than a community. You've made it a family. Thank you, truly. Your presence, your energy, and even the smallest acts of kindness have the power to shift the compass for many in ways unseen but deeply felt. Here's to each of you, all new and the many more to come. We're just getting started, and we're so grateful you're here with us. With love and infinite appreciation from the collective of Shaman Ahll.
The collective learned the power of the quiet fox. Stay calm, watch the pattern, keep receipts, and never let someone's title trick your spirit into silence. When power feels uncomfortable, do not panic. Prepare. Do not overshare. Observe. Do not walk into shadows alone. Bring light, witnesses, and wisdom, because the strongest move is not always the loudest one. Sometimes it is the calmest person in the room saying, "Put that in writing," while the villain's whole confidence starts buffering. Humanity, truly, what a circus with office chairs. A crown does not make a soul clean. A title does not make a person truthful. And fear does not get to sit on your throne. Move with grace. Move with records. Move with protection. Move like the fox who already knows where the hidden door is. Your discomfort is not weakness. It may be your spirit ringing the alarm. When power makes the room feel strange, the quiet fox does not panic. She watches, documents, protects her peace, and moves with strategy sharp enough to make intimidation trip over its own fancy shoes. Tonight, the collective learns how to turn discomfort into wisdom, fear into focus, and silence into sacred strength.
Until next time, your Sea Star Curacy, channeled by 3611027, the Beautiful Whisperer. Our Sea Star Devalan. Apply the news you can use.